Dolphins fans, welcome into Dolphins Today. I am Will Scott. On today's show, we're going to be getting into a mailbag, answering your questions about the latest Miami Dolphins news and rumors. A lot to discuss after the signing of Brennan Scarlett. Shout out to Mo, who super chatted $5. We appreciate you, Mo. Super chat like Mo, get on the show. So is cap space going to be an issue next year with all the massive contracts signed and expected extensions? Mo, that is a great question. So when you're looking at the Dolphins' cap hits for next year, Tyreek Hill is owed $30 million. Bradley Chubb is owed about $25 million. Emmanuel Ogbah's owed $17 million. Byron Jones is owed $18 million. Teron Armstead is owed north of $20 million. So the list goes on and on. But cap space in the NFL, a lot of people say doesn't exist. There's loopholes. You can restructure contracts. There's ways around it. The concern I have is paying Tua. How are you going to pay Tua? I don't expect that to come this offseason. I expect it to come after the 2023 season, so 2024 offseason. We'll see what happens there. But I'm sure that Chris Grier is going to make the cap work. I'm confident about that. $2 super chat. Where'd I go? There I am. It's $2 super chat from Gavany Owens. We appreciate you, Gavany. $5 super chat from Lorenzo. Oh, a $50 super chat from Joseph Hurley. Joseph, we'll shout you out again after we're done this mailbag. What'd you say? MVP. He's currently the show MVP. We appreciate Joseph Hurley. $50 super chat. We'll get back to you in a second, Joseph, after this mailbag. John Ruiz, sign a corner and signed OBJ and sign a 5-year deal to Jeff Wilson Jr. And when is Byron Jones returning? Man, like I said, John, you'd be the most aggressive GM in the NFL. Sign a corner. I'm for that. I'd love to bring in a guy like Malcolm Brown. Sign OBJ? I don't think so. It'd be a lot of fun, but we're set at receiver. I'm all for extending Jeff Wilson Jr. I think Jeff would be great. And when is Byron Jones returning? I mean, hopefully after the bye. I don't really think that's realistic. I'd be a little bit surprised to see Byron again this season, John. We'll talk about him again in a second here. Wendell and Witt, what positions do you think we should try to get in the draft? Wendell and Witt, watch from the Philippines. Thanks so much for watching. I would say if you don't bring back Mostert or Wilson, I mean, like both of those guys, don't bring both back. I would say a running back, Sean Tucker out of Syracuse, would be fantastic in the second round. I think that is a potential option here for Miami. Other positions, I'm all for drafting offensive linemen, getting more depth there. Inside linebacker, I think. Hopefully Tyndall's the future at that position, but adding a little bit more depth there as well. And then maybe some corners as well. So those are the 4 positions I'm thinking of. Or maybe a kicker. Maybe you got to draft a kicker because Jason Sanders has really been struggling. Kyle Riggs, what's up? Will the Dolphins win the AFC East? I think they can. I absolutely think they can. I mean, when you look at the current standings right now, the Dolphins are right there. They're at the top of the AFC East. They're ahead of Buffalo. They're ahead of the Jets. They're ahead of the Pats. It's a loaded division. But the Dolphins, what you have to consider is that they're undefeated with Tua Tagovailoa. I think this team would be 10-0, 9-1 if Tua hadn't gotten hurt. So they're still in first place, even though they were without Tua for like 3 games. Will the Dolphins win the AFC East? Type Y for yes or type in for no. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So reply to it when ad break comes. Y for yes, in for no, down in the comments. Shout out to Jonathan May. I think once our defense is better and compete, we have a chance to go far. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with you there, Jonathan. The defense has to be more consistent. They played much better last week, but on the road, they have the worst road defense in the league. They got to be more consistent on the road. Batman, can we officially call Tua a franchise quarterback? Yes, 100 million %. He is the guy in Miami. Taking a look at what he did last week, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, just 7 incompletions. 9 touchdowns, no picks in the last 3 weeks. Has the highest quarterback rating, also highest PFF grade of any quarterback in the entire league. He has been absolutely fantastic. The haters have been silenced. Guys, go bet on Tua to win MVP at chatsports.com/bet. That's the promo code CHAT125 to go pick up a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put $100 in, you are going to start with $225 in your account. It's a great deal. Go and take advantage. And take a look at this. Tua has skyrocketed up the MVP odds here from 1,400. Now he's second in the MVP odds. So take him while he's still in second because he's going to be in first after the Dolphins' next game. Reese, thank you so much for asking this question. We need a kicker ASAP. I could not agree more, Reese. I mean, Jason Sanders is just not the guy. He struggled. If he had just struggled this year, okay, maybe that's a different conversation. He struggled last year, too. He missed 8 kicks last year. He's missed 3 extra points this year. You got to find at least bring in a competitor to compete with Jason Sanders. Future Dolphins receiver says, who has surprised you the most this season other than Tua? I wish I could say Tua surprised me. I was expecting Tua to be pretty good. Maybe not this good this fast, but I was still expecting to be pretty good. Honestly, Brandon Shell. Brandon Shell has been awesome, and I was really excited when the Dolphins signed him to be, at the time, it looked like the backup tackle. Now he's the starting right tackle on this team. He's been awesome. Guys, be sure to subscribe to join our mailbags. We're live every Thursday. Go down, award-winning, as Jeremy Chuggs, the producer, is reminding me in my ear, award-winning Dolphins mailbags. Go down, subscribe to get on the next one. Gabe, what are the odds of the Dolphins signing OBJ? Not high, but not impossible. OBJ was actually at the Miami Heat game the other day. Melvin Ingram was spotted talking to him, maybe recruiting him. But the Dolphins don't need OBJ. He got Tyreek. He got Waddle. Trent Sherfield's been a pretty solid third wide receiver. I don't really think they need him. Speaking of the Miami Heat, bring the Miami Heat. Ask this question. Could we get a good running back in the second round? Oh, absolutely. As I mentioned to Windland Witt earlier, Sean Tucker would be a fantastic get for this Dolphins team. Here is what he's done this season. This is a ridiculous stat line. Nearly 900 yards. He's averaged 7.1 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. That doesn't even include his receiving stats. He's a great pass catcher as well. One of the best players in college football. Also, one of the more underrated players in college football. He's probably not going first round. He might go second. Do you want to draft Sean Tucker? Type D for draft or type P for pass down in the comments section. I'm a Syracuse alum, so of course I'm going to say D for draft, but I'm curious to hear what y'all think down in the comments. Shout out Maurice Jenkins. Talk about a real one since day one. How confident are you with the O-line now? And Maurice, I'm pretty confident about the O-line. And be sure to check out the video that we had that's going out on Friday. But I'm really excited about what this offensive line has done. I would say do not switch up the offensive line. The starting 5 should remain the same. When Liam Eichenberg is healthy, he should not be starting over Robert Jones. If Austin Jackson's back 100%, he should not be starting over Brandon Shell. Keep the offensive line as is. I never thought I'd say that. Matthew Sams, biggest surprise is undrafted rookie. That's a very good point. Kader Kahou just gets better each week. Yeah, I maybe should have said Kahou back a few questions ago. He's been outstanding. I was really excited when we got him as a UDFA, and he certainly exceeded expectations. What would we do without him? I don't know. Guys, go down and follow me on Twitter at WillScott44. If I didn't get to your question, my DMs are open. You can ask me any question you have there at WillScott44. Also on Instagram at WillieFence.